12:39, you're listening to the Mid-Morning Talk on Salam Media with me, Maryam Mkwanda. The ban on hijab colleges in southern India's state of Karnataka has triggered a major row amid growing concerns that the attacks on Muslim symbols and practices are part of the larger Hindu far-right agenda of imposing majoritarian values on minorities. The U.S. ambassador at large for international religious freedom on Friday said the hijab ban would stigmatize and marginalize women and girls. The Congress of Muslim Ummah have are hosting a protest march, the Hands Off Hijab protest march, which will be taking place next week, Friday 25th of February. And to tell us a little bit about it is the Deputy Convener Fatima Domingo. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Fatima, and shukran for joining me.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And I thank you so much for hosting me. I'm really honored and privileged to be able to share this information. I think it's very, very important for us to get the message out and to get as much broad support, not only from the Muslim community, but from those who want to uphold freedom, equality, and democracy from our non-Muslim communities as well.
All right, now let us go back to the beginning. How did this entire hijab ban begin in India?
This has been an unrelenting campaign for it's actually just being highlighted now, but it's been around for decades. Not only the discrimination against Muslim women per se, but the non-Muslim Hindu women as well, in terms of education, the way women are viewed in India as the highest, one of the highest female infanticide in the world happens to be in India. The killing of girl children, because traditionally girl children are responsible, females are responsible for the dowry. So it's a whole institutionalized, systematic discrimination against females. And this goes back, I wouldn't even say decades, I'd say centuries. But it's being highlighted now because the campaign of the government now is against Muslims and Islam. So, and it's really becoming bad. The fascism, Hindu fascism, has now reached its zenith in India, and it's manifested in this hijab ban, which is also, if you see, many European countries are also trying to legally enforce the ban of hijab. So it's linked. I think all of this campaign, this relentless campaign against Muslim women, is linked throughout the world, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny how they say that, you have the right to freedom, you have the right to wear whatever you want to, but the moment you choose to wear a religious symbol like a hijab, then you no longer have the right, you can no longer exercise that right anymore. So, what does the international human rights law say about this proposed hijab ban?
Yes, according to it is my hands off my job. It is my dignity, my right as a Muslim to wear hijab as enshrined in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Article 18. Everyone has the right to freedom of thought, conscience, and religion. And of course, it's very important that Muslims stand up for this, because the Creator has said to us, stand firmly for justice as a witness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah has tasked us with upholding justice. So it's important for us to make our voices heard.
All right, now, as you're trying to make your voices heard at the protest march, tell us a little bit about it.
Well, the organization, the people that are organizing it, we are an organization that strives for human equity as well as social justice from an Islamic from an Islamic viewpoint. The Islamic, I would say, the Islamic ideology, the Islamic worldview in terms of establishing social justice. Also, we take our cue from the Prophet ﷺ, who said, if you see an injustice being done, change it with your hand, if not with your hand, with your mouth, if not with your mouth, with your heart, but that is the weakest of faith. So here we are. Not only is it a Quranic injunction, but it is also from the prophetic example and also from the hadith. So it is important for us, seeing that our sisters are suffering in India. It doesn't matter whether it's in India, whether it's in Rohingya, whether it is in China, whether it is in Palestine, Syria. We have a moral obligation to stand up against this injustice and oppression of our
Hmm.
sisters across the world.
All right. And what can people expect at the protest march, and how is it going to take place?
Well, we will be marching. We will be walking. We're still busy finalizing all the agreements in terms of the marshals, and we're asking for volunteers to please come and assist us. We did get permission to do the march, so we're asking all the volunteers to bring their own pamphlets and their own slogans, and we will be marching there, and we have got permission. We will be handing a memorandum over, and that brother Salman Khan will be doing. He'll be doing handing over the memorandum. We do have other guest speakers like Sister Zinat Adam, a very prominent female guest speakers that will be talking on behalf of the voiceless women. We also, the creators also tasked us with when you have the right to defend yourself as a Muslim, but when you are able to defend yourself, then you have the obligation to defend the defenseless. And also, if you have the ability to voice yourself, once you have that ability, then you have the obligation to speak on behalf of the voiceless. So that is the main aim of our march, is to represent our sisters, to show solidarity, and to show the Indian government that we are not happy and we are here to show solidarity with our sisters. And this is not just a national movement, but it is a global movement. We're hoping to invite all our sisters and brothers across the globe to show their solidarity.
I remember last year we had a movement, the Hands Off My Hijab movement, and it was great to see Muslims and non-Muslims alike all coming together for one cause, and that is to stop the banning of hijab, because it does not make sense why you would want to ban hijab. I mean, if you are afraid of it, then at least say, okay, I'm afraid of it, but there's absolutely nothing to be afraid of. Which brings me to the next question on education, because South Africa are no strangers when it comes to Muslims and Muslim women and the struggles that we face, as well as the challenges. I mean, a few weeks ago, I posted on my social media asking the women, um, what challenges do they face as a South African, as a covered South African woman, and a lot of them. For a lot of their answers, it came down to a lack of education. So, how do we educate
Mm,
people about these
it's
things? How do we
important.
teach them that there's the hijab is nothing to be afraid of, and when I choose to wear my hijab, I'm doing it because I for whatever reasons that I might be doing it, whether it's for protection, whether it's for fashion, whether it's to serve my creator.
Yes, I think it's very important. Myself, when I was in corporate, there was, because I'm an educator now, and
Hmm.
what I always found is people always questioned me about my hijab, and I explained to them that it is part of our identity. It is part of your expression of your relationship with the creator. So it is For me, it is about demonstrating my relationship with my creator, my identity. And the creator does tell us it is a source of identity, and so that you may not be harassed. It is in Surah Al Ahzab, where the creator tells you, and then, of course, in the extension, the Prophet ﷺ was the Quran, our ideal praxis, basically. So in there, he also demonstrates when he told Asma that a woman, when she becomes a baligh, she must cover her whole body, excepting her hands and her face. So for me, it is a demonstration of, it's a manifestation rather of my relationship to my creator. And there's many manifestations. I'm not saying that that's the only one. We have different, your salah, all sorts of forms of ibadat, but for me this is part of my identity, expressing my relationship with my creator. And so this is something I always explain to non-Muslims when they ask me about the hijab. And it is a symbol of modesty, it's a symbol of purity. And I always use the example of Maryam alayhi salam, which is the mother of Isa alayhi salam. This is how she dressed, and we are emulating. Those are our role models. And it's a symbol of empowerment. It is a symbol, I'm saying, and it's a form of resistance against the objectification of women, that they should not only be judged by the outside, but from the inside as well. It's about it's about looking at a woman not for her fashion sense, not for the external expression only, but the internal expression as well. And that I have a source of, I'm an intellectual being. I'm not just there for objectification, and I'm resisting that as a Muslim woman when I dress in my hijab. Because just
Mm-hmm.
as they feel that non-Muslim women have the choice to dress, in a way that um, is, doesn't leave much to the imagination, that's their choice. So why am I not being given the choice to dress how my creator has commanded me to dress?
Mm-hmm. Right. According to Islamic teachings, we know that hijab is not only for women but for men as well. And
Yes,
unfortunately, we
absolutely.
only see when it comes to the hijab ban, we don't see our brothers out there supporting us. So, how important is the support from the Muslim men?
Very important. In fact, the Creator addresses them in the Quran. It says, "Oh,
Mm-hmm.
paraphrasing, believing men, tell your wives and your daughters to dress this way." The Creator is actually addressing them. And also, the Creator tells them that they also have a code of conduct. He tells both of us to lower your gaze. He gives us, the Creator is not teaching hypocrisy. He's saying believing men, believing women, believing men, believing women. So this applies to both. And it's very important. I want to also remind our brothers that it is a very important part of the Sunnah to protect the female. The Creator says to us, on the day of judgment, the girl child will be called forward and asked for what crime was she killed. Because during when the Prophet ﷺ came to, when in his the time when he was born and the period that he was born in, the Quraysh were known to kill their girl to bury their children alive. And the Creator protects the girl child. He says she will be called on the day of judgment and asked for which crime was she killed. And India has probably one of the, like I said earlier, one of the highest um, percentages of female infanticide in the world. And it's something that the media doesn't concentrate on. So it's important for our males to follow the sunnah of the Prophet
Mm-hmm.
ﷺ, and that is the protection of the female from the time she's born until the time she dies. The widow is must be protected. She's vulnerable and must be protected. So the Creator has given us the guidelines to protect the female from the time she's born until the time she dies. So,
Mm-hmm.
and there's no double standards about it. He says believing men, believing women, believing men, believing women.
hmm And men are actually meant to be the protectors and maintainers of women.
Absolutely.
So we want to see more men at the forefront. You know, they should be the ones holding the placards and sort of having a barrier so that the sisters behind can then, say whatever they need to say. But the men should be at the forefront. That's what we want to see. We want to see that support. We need it as Muslim women.
Absolutely. And I mean, the Creator describes marriage, so no one could describe it as beautifully as that, where he describes the man being the garment of the woman and the woman being the garment of the man. So your garment protects you from the heat, it protects you from cold, it is there as your safety net. So that is what we need. We need our brothers to be on board with us and be our safety net, be our anchor, be the leaders, lead by example.
Mm-hmm.
So
All right, so shukran so much for your time, Sister Fatima. But once again, before you leave us, how can people get more information to volunteer or to be part of the march on the 25th?
they can contact me. I have on the pamphlet my contact details are there, and then Brother Salman as well. We do need volunteers. We need volunteers for marshals. We definitely need, and we need people who will assist us with posters and pamphlet making, etc. They can contact me because it's next week Friday, so we have a lot of work to still do before we embark on this march next week, and we make dua that it will be successful, inshallah.
I mean, may Allah make it a successful event and good luck. You have a lot to do, so I'm going to leave you to do it. Shukran. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah khairan.
Barakallahu fikum. Fatima Domingo, the deputy convener and part of the hijab ban, hands off hijab, a protest that will be taking place on Friday next week, the 25th of February. More information on that. The poster is available should anybody need any information. And let me share Sister Fatima's contact details there. If you would like to volunteer, they do require volunteers. The number is just a second. The convener Salman Khan 082-691-6048, 082-691-6048. That's the convener's number, Salman Khan. If you would like to volunteer, to be a queue marshal, to be anything, you can contact him. And Sister Fatima on 082 825 9681, 9681. You are listening to the Mid Morning Talk on Salam Media with me, Maryam Mkwanda.